Hello guys, today we'll see how to run a script on multiple browsers. We have a script which runs perfectly on Firefox browser. My main objective would be to run the same script on Chrome and IE with minimal changes on my script. Just to brief you, what this script does is, it opens the application, enters a value 50 in Fahrenheit, and click on a calculate button. Once it clicks the calculate button, application gives you the value in Celsius. The script then captures the value in Celsius and displays it in the console below. We will just try to run the script and see what happens. As of now, my console is empty. I'm going to click on the run button. Remember guys, it's going to open a new Firefox browser and launch the application. It has opened the Firefox browser, launched the application. If you enter the value 50 in this field, Fahrenheit field, click on calculate. 50, calculate. The value 10 was created by the application. The script extracted the value 10 from the application and it's showing it in the console below. How did we make this script? We have already discussed in our previous video. For reference, guys, you can see that video. You'll come to know how we created the script line by line. But my main objective today is to show you this script which is designed for Firefox browser. How can we reuse this for IE and Chrome? Now, before I make the changes in my script, right, I would like to tell you brief about how Selenium interacts with Chrome, IE and Firefox. If you see this diagram, there is a straight link between Selenium and Firefox, and if you see Chrome and IE, there is some component in between Chrome and IE. That is, for Chrome it is chromedriver.exe and for IE it is IE-driver server.exe. For Selenium to do any operation on any of these browsers, it requires extra help, right? This chromedriver.exe will help Selenium to take control on the Chrome browser. If Selenium wants to do any operation on the Chrome browser, Selenium requires the chromedriver.exe. Chromedriver.exe is an executable file created by the Chromium team of Google. They have created this chromedriver.exe for Selenium, with the help of which Selenium can do any operation on the Chrome browser. Similarly, Microsoft team has developed IE-driver-server.exe, that is again an executable file, which will help Selenium to do operations on Internet Explorer. Now, why only Chrome and IE have extra exe files to control the browsers? Why Firefox doesn't have? For Firefox, already Selenium has inbuilt in its library files the exe to control the Firefox. So you don't have to specifically mention, or you don't have to specifically download a .exe file to control the Firefox. So Selenium inbuilt has it. Now, as we see that you don't require the executable file for Firefox, but we require for Chrome and IE. Now, where do I get these executable files? To get these executable files, we have respective URLs for that. For Chrome, you can get it from this URL, what you currently see on the screen. You need to click on the Chrome driver, and you can download, depending on the OS that you have, the .exe files. This is for Chrome. Similarly, for IE, you can go on this URL, right, and you can take the latest version. Now it is 2.44 running. You can download from there the exe files. So once you download the exe files, store it in a folder. You can name it as any folder. So I have given a drivers folder in my D drive where I have collected for the Chrome driver.exe and IE driver server.exe. Both are downloaded and kept in a folder known as drivers. It's not mandatory you have to follow the same structure. You can store it any folder. So we have both the driver, the executable files downloaded. So these are two executable files. Now, how do I use these now in my script to run the script in multiple browsers? What changes I am going to do? So let's take the first instance as Chrome. If you see here, this specific line says to work with Firefox. What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment these two lines of code. I'm just going to comment these lines of code. So these two lines of codes are commented. So I'm going to say first Chrome. So for Chrome to do, I would say for this entire thing to accommodate the Chrome changes, 2 lines of code has to be added. Only 2 lines of code. Rest all your script from the line 20 will remain the same. Only 2 lines of code, right? So I will write system dot set property, and I will write Webdriver. Guys, these are standards. You don't have to by heart this thing. Dot Chrome dot driver. And the next argument you have to pass is the path of the Chrome driver.exe. Now the path would be, the path is d drivers Chrome driver.exe. I'll just copy that. Now you see a red color mark below this path, right? The reason being the slash is kind of a regular expression for Java. So to use them as backslash itself, we have to use a escape character. Just use escape characters wherever the slash is there. And end this line of code with semicolon. This is the first line. Now what this line does, it sets an environment variable. The environment variable is webdriver.chrome.driver. It sets this property, this environment property, with this value. So this line does is it creates an environment variable that is webdriver.chrome.driver, and it sets the value as this path. And the next thing is very simple line of code, guys. It is Webdriver. It's the same thing that we have written. The only thing is we are going to change a little bit. Webdriver driver, in the Webdriver make D capital, driver equal to new. If you remember, for Firefox we wrote new Firefox driver. Here we are going to say new Chrome driver. That's the only change. So all we need to do is these 2 lines of code. Now if you see here again, there is a red color mark under the code. Now if I keep the mouse on it, I see suggestions for that. So the list of suggestions that I currently see is import the Chrome driver and a lot of other changes. I'm going to go with Chrome driver. The reason why I'm going with this, because our class doesn't know what a Chrome driver is. So to make our class understand what Chrome driver is, I'm just importing the package which has those definitions. And if you see that after doing that, I got one line of code. So this package for Chrome driver has been included in our class. Now our class has the flexibility to understand, or the knowledge to understand, what a Chrome driver does. So Chrome driver actually basically helps you to interact on a Chrome. And rest all our script remains the same. I'm just going to run this. So it should open the application, right? If you see our console, it doesn't have any value as of now, and it should opens the application. It should enter 50, click on calculate, and extract the value 10, which we see currently now in our console. Simple, guys. Now this was Chrome part. I'm just going to comment this. Now let's say I want to do the same thing for IE. Now for IE, what should I do? I write the same set of code in that. For this, I'll say system dot set property. What is the first value? I'll say Webdriver dot, instead of Chrome dot driver, I will say IE dot driver. And then we would say, what we'll give? We'll give the path of IE driver. This is the path. Take this, properties, take the paths from this, copy, and now I just paste it here and end with semicolon. You see that there is a red color mark below our syntax. The only problem is with the escape characters. I'm just going to give a escape character. Now if you see, this is fine. Now what is the next line of code? You just see the Firefox, Chrome is the same code. Again it is. We're just going to write, instead of Firefox driver or Chrome driver, I'm going to write Internet Explorer driver and end with semicolon. Now if you see, again red color mark is below the Internet Explorer. I go keep the mouse on the syntax and I see a list of fixes, and the first one we have in the fix is import the driver. The reason being, our class doesn't know what a Internet Explorer driver does. So to make our class understand what it does, I'm just saying import. Now you see one line of code has been added on the top. Basically it imports the package which has information about how to use Internet Explorer driver. Now let's run the script. I'll just save this and I'll just run the script now. If you see this console below, it has the output from the Chrome. I'll just say I'm going to clear it and I'm going to run this thing so that we see the result from IE. So this is getting open in IE browser. It should enter value 50. Click on calculate, extract the value 10. You see here? You can see in the console the value 10 has been extracted. So I believe the session was very informative and clear for you. Thank you guys. Meet you soon.